And welcome everyone to our weekly chat about the Power 36 and the AP poll. It is Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas to all who celebrate, and Happy Holidays to everyone else. All right, a lot to discuss here. It's been a great week in college basketball. I'm going to deal, and I'm going to take your questions. I want to get your questions over the next few minutes. But before I even address the difference in some of the polling here, let's address Nebraska, because I am hearing from the Nebraska fans right away, and I want to reiterate a couple things. And this bears repeating over the course of the season. Number one, keep in mind that the Power 36, there's a couple things. Number one, it is my snapshot of who I think is playing the best basketball right now, based on wins this past week, who you played, where you played, and all that. It's not like there's some mathematical part here. This is not the net, not the old RPI. This is obviously my opinion here. That's number one. Number two, okay, is that these are the 36. And if you were to try to start to think about, okay, who's going to be in the NCAA tournament, you have to pull out the automatic bids. Okay, so yes, we do the 36 because that's how many at-larges are in the field. That's where we came up with the 36 at NCAA.com in March Madness. But hypothetically, there's a number of AQs in the 36 that would come out of this. And so, like Nebraska, who I firmly believe will be in the NCAA tournament, and I think Tim Miles' team will win a game, if not two. Okay? I'm just looking at, rewarding, if you will, some of the teams from the previous week. If you were to quibble with me on one team at the back part of the Power 36 that I could have pulled out and put someone in, you could have maybe gone with Butler, okay? If I was going to pull out Butler and put Nebraska in. And that's a fair argument, and I kind of debated here and there on both sides, but Butler did lose most recently at the buzzer to a very good Indiana team. And that was kind of my thinking in the back part of that. I'm rewarding LSU. I watched that game, the second half of that game against Furman, where they completely dominated the Paladins. So the Tigers, who I think are playing some of the best basketball of the season right now for them, I rewarded them. I was at the bragging rights game between Missouri and Illinois. And the Tigers, let me tell you something. Konzo Martin has got these guys playing hard, tough. They're resilient. They're a team that, and I'm going to tell you, he should be in contention for SEC Coach of the Year if he keeps this up, because he legitimately could get this team in the NCAA tournament, which I never thought was possible after Jonte Porter went down, who, by the way, is looking at a long rehab. That's one thing I'll just tell you, just in talking to the Missouri folks and just seeing Jonte. Very ginger. This could be a 10, 12-month kind of rehab, because it wasn't just the ACL, it was also the MCL. But Jeremiah Tillman, Jordan Geist, who's a tough guy. I mean, he was playing through, looked like cramping in both calves. Tillman, who, like Javon Pickett and Mark Smith, all were originally on the Illinois, were part of Illinois. Smith played for Illinois. The other two signed at Illinois. It's crazy that Mark Smith actually plays in the bragging rights game 2 seasons in a row, 2 different teams, and goes 2-0. So I really like this Missouri team. Really impressed. So the depth of the SEC actually, I think, is maybe a little deeper than I thought. Or you could really replace, hypothetically, in the preseason I had South Carolina as a bubble team. And, maybe now you put Missouri in that spot instead of, definitely instead of South Carolina. Vanderbilt certainly has a chance without Darius Garland, but I would make the argument right now. They did beat Arizona State at home. They just lost to Kansas State. They played a very tough schedule. But you could argue that Missouri has adapted a little bit better to not having Jonte Porter than Vanderbilt without Darius Garland, which is a much harder position to adapt without, which is your point guard versus one of your bigs. So 2 SEC programs having to deal with a major season-ending injury by basically their best player, different positions. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to a couple more comments here comparatively, and then I want to get to a lot of your questions, which are coming, through here, which I think is great on this holiday. All right. So first of all, let's deal with the top. So I'm sticking with Michigan, who I think is playing the best basketball right now. But with my top three, I got Michigan, Tennessee, Virginia. To me, that's 1A, 1B, 1C. Or one, I mean, it's razor thin how I was thinking about those three. I think those are the three best teams in the country right now. Healthy, playing the best basketball. Duke, on the other side, great comeback against Texas Tech. So I kept them, I put them at the 4th spot. So I feel comfortable with that right now. AP decided to leap them above Michigan, Tennessee, Virginia, obviously. So, that's the polling decision of the AP. We agree on Nevada, Gonzaga, Michigan State, all in that mix. I thought it was interesting that I think Virginia Tech's still a little too high. They got them at 10. I have Virginia Tech at 28. So, yeah, way too high comparatively for what I have here. I do like the Florida State. I do think that Houston, Texas Tech should be higher. I'm surprised, though, that Kentucky in the AP poll is only 16. I have them all the way up at number 9. If you watch that Carolina game, how could you not be pretty happy with the way Kentucky has been playing since I saw them against Seton Hall, where they lost in overtime, and certainly that could have gone either way. So, and keeping this in mind, too, Seton Hall, since that game, has won at Maryland. So, and that's sort of, I know the Nebraska people are like, oh, we blew out Seton Hall early in the season. Not saying head-to-head don't matter, but who's playing the best basketball right now? And I would argue Seton Hall is playing a little better than Nebraska right now. And they play a little better competition right now. So that's why I've got Seton Hall ranked and not Nebraska for now. I fully expect Nebraska to be a regular in this poll coming up. And as I said, in the NCAA tournament. Arizona State, AP 17. I put them at 12. You knock off the number 1 team in the country. I saw, and I think it was a writer from Kansas, did not vote for Arizona State in the top 25. So, look, it's your prerogative, your opinion. I'm not going to attack you personally or anything like that, but I will just say this. Here's my defense of Arizona State. All right? Bobby Hurley has gone out and played people. Okay, Nevada went and did the SEC road swing where he goes to Georgia, down 18, comes back, and wins. Okay, Georgia, which just beat Georgia Tech. And I know Georgia Tech's down, but still. That's a road win, true road, down 18, come back. They play at Vanderbilt 2 nights later. Not easy to do. I don't care. Give me any SEC team, okay, coming up in 2 months. Maybe Tennessee does this. Maybe Kentucky. Maybe Auburn. Not any more than that, okay? If you were to do a back-to-back at Georgia, at Vanderbilt, I'd like to know how many of those SEC teams would sweep that road swing in that specific order with over a 48-hour period, okay? Or 72-hour, period. I don't think many. And then they turn around and they come back and beat the number 1 team in the country on their floor. How you don't rank them, I don't get that at all. Okay, they've played a very good schedule and they've played it well. And how about the eyes? Watch this team, okay? They are pretty good. They can handle the basketball. They can make big shots. Remy Martin made some. Edwards made some free throws. Lou Dort is just a beast. Looks like a fullback. So Bobby Hurley's doing a great job. They're clearly the best team in the Pac-12, in my opinion. And right now, today, I'm going to do a bracket, by the way, everyone, January 8th, after the national championship game in football. Right now, today, I think I don't one bid. I got to really look at it a little deeper, but right now they're the 1 bid out of the Pac-12. And I'll end with this. Taylor Young, will Kansas's Big 12 streak end this year? No. They're going to win it again. So there, for all you KU haters who think I hate them, not true. As good as I think Iowa State can be, Texas Tech, TCU, Oklahoma, Kansas State, Kansas is going to win the Big 12 yet again. I will end it on that. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, be safe out there. Thanks everyone for watching, tweeting, and asking questions. Have a great rest of the day.